Hi there, I'm Becky Hammond and welcome to Isogo TV, where we are using StrengthsFinder to help fuel the marriage connection we need, the parenting grace that we crave, and the work energy that flows from a happy and really a healthy home. You are joining us here for episode 51, and we are in the middle of our series about balance, about our rhythm of life that we can get to in a healthy, happy, growth-oriented way when we look at it through a lens of strength. Throughout this series, I have been referencing a free PDF download. It has our balance checklist and tips. So if you haven't checked that out already, please go over to isogostrong.com/ITV balance to get your copy. And as you do that, let us jump right into episode 51. We're heading into the final few episodes of this Isogo TV mini-series. And this episode in particular is exciting to me because it begins to build the power of community in getting your frenzy in check. We started off this series because of the overwhelmingly unanimous response that I got about the most challenging things to manage in your life right now. 70% of you came up with a similar struggle. That struggle for a sense of balance. And balance, as we said back in episode 46, is more like an unattainable mirage. Balance requires that every piece be in the right place. And if one is off, the whole thing topples over. So we're going instead for rhythm, a pattern of movement in our lives that's consistent with our values, our priorities, and the biggest yeses in our lives. And thus far, we've pretty much been going it alone in our own heads, our own schedules, our own stories. And today we get to be sure that we're bringing others in. Recently, after the kids were finally in bed, as David and I sat at the kitchen table working into the later hours of the evening, I shared how just undoable it all feels right now to think that we're going to move for the second time in a year, adjust to a new place, keep our kids sane, add another baby to the mix, and keep up the work pace that I have been. It was one of those I am totally overwhelmed moments, like a breakdown moment. And sometimes David's not great at responding in those moments because his most natural activator instinct is to jump in and come up with solutions. But that day he took a different approach, and really just his perspective reminded me that I had had very similar thoughts and sentiments last fall. It was about the same point in the semester, several weeks from the end of the term, when all is scheduled and full and just feeling undoable. And he said that this, as a result, would not be the best time to make any big decisions. And almost instantly, I felt relief. I smiled at the irony in some ways and agreed that the best time to make family rhythm decisions is not at 11 p.m. when I'm already tired and facing a litany of mental clutter already in a particularly full or stressful season. And so we agreed to table the conversation and come back to it later. And while the craze continues in some ways, it's so peace-giving and balance-making to know that it's aired out to someone else. We all have to have partners and community in the unbalance that we feel. We need someone else who knows about it in order to walk it with us, to provide perspective, to keep you accountable, to provide ideas. The more you try to go it alone, the more unbalanced and unrhythmic you'll feel. So there are 4 key roles that I see a partner or a community of partners playing in our daily lives and our daily rhythm. Those are your audience, they're your accountability, they provide you an audacity check, and they give you action ideas. So let's walk through each one of those. First is audience. At a minimum, a partner or a community provides someone to talk to. They're your audience, to vent and just to normalize your senses. The second is accountability. As you share with somebody else what you plan to cut out or the change or balance that you're trying to make, you create a sense of natural accountability. In some circles, it makes sense to even formalize the accountability and have them check back in with you and how you're doing, or in saying no, or into setting priorities. The third role a partner or community can play is an audacity check. They provide you with insights that you can't see from inside your own whirlwind. They can give you perspective on if you're seeing things correctly, or if something's blinding or skewing your perspectives. And oftentimes they can see even your success more clearly than you can. And they can see the upsides when your mind is stuck in the downsides. And then the fourth role is the partner's role in providing action ideas. Oftentimes, these people in your life will also provide ideas for what to cut out or change or to reprioritize. Ideas that, because you're in the trenches, you can't see them as much. So those are the four roles that a partner or community can play in your ideal peace-giving rhythm that you're seeking: audience, accountability, audacity check, and action ideas. And so I'm going to end with 3 examples from my own life of partners and communities that are helping me keep the rhythm, to spark some ideas of what might be possible for you as well. So first, professionally, I'm in a mastermind group that focuses on business success in the midst of motherhood. The members of that group, they play a role of reminding me that I'm not insane for feeling out of whack some weeks. And they give me the accountability in that group that forces me to make choices, stick to them, reflect on wins, set goals. And it's been invaluable to my rhythm, especially at work. And then second, this year, a couple close friends and I started a Vox circle where we use the Voxer app to hold an ongoing conversation across states and time zones. And we chat and process there about the rhythms of our lives. We share the ups, the downs, how well it's going, or how hard it comes crashing down sometimes. And there is an accountability in just having someone to share the rhythm with, to pray and support me through it, to give external wisdom when it comes to choosing the biggest yeses in my life. And lastly, and most largely, the person who travels the rhythm most closely with me is David, my husband. He's the one who asks me the questions like we talked about last week in episode 50, what have you said no to recently? He checks me for fatigue and state of mind before making rash decisions about how overwhelmed I am. He knows what our family values are, what my strengths and needs are, and helps reflect how our rhythm is really going and what we could change together. He's the full community package when it comes to balance for me. So this is your point to ponder and take action on this week. Who do you have in your life that knows about the madness of your unbalance? That's your question. Who do you have a regular pattern of contact and personal engagement with that can help check your thoughts and your ideas about your own rhythm? So if you find that you can answer this question affirmatively, that you do have someone or a community of people around you, that's great. Then you ask yourself, what's one way you could be more intentional with them this week to get a grip on your most healthy rhythm, or even encouraging them in theirs as well? On the other hand, if you find that you don't really have a partner or a community of accountability or audacity checking or action ideas, you face a little bit of a different question. Who can you think of who might be willing to go there with you and create a space for mutual support and encouragement in your ideal life rhythm? It's such an important question. So allow yourself this week to explore that concept and get even closer to setting your ideal life rhythm. Get closer to the rhythm that allows you to be present for that which is most important to you. Thanks for joining here today on Isogo TV. I really hope that this series on balance is helping you with some new ideas about how to get balance and rhythm in your own life. And I would love to hear what's happening inside your mind. So jump on over to our Facebook group or our Instagram account at Isogo Strong and share some of those questions or some of those aha moments that you've had along the way. And then I would love for you to help me get the word out about how we all can live this life through strengths. You can do that in one of two ways. You can do that over on Facebook by sharing with your own friends, or by rating and reviewing over at iTunes. So I really appreciate your help in getting the word out. And until next time, I will see you on Isogo TV.